Hello, everybody. Welcome to Raw Talk Tuesday. I know I haven't been here in a little bit, so let me just introduce this concept. Every Tuesday, we get a raw talk. We get into those emotions, no scripts, no nothing, speaking right off the dome. Yep, that's what I'm doing. So, I do want to preface that this I could have some controversial takes. I am very open to hearing other people's opinions. If you would like to disagree or agree, you may say anything in the comments. We all already know what this is about. I am not justifying ending your life. I just want to say that it's not selfish. And it's not selfish because it's about pain, not malice. People don't kill themselves with the thought of,
Yeah, I want to hurt everybody that I know by dying. So I really want to upset them. I think I'm just going to kill myself today because I really want to make some loved ones sad.
no, their world narrows. You see, they get this different point of view. They're in pain. Everybody's got their problems. Somebody's struggling with something. They just know, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And so they end it. And people are like, that's selfish. But no, it's not. I don't think it's selfish. I think it's selfish in itself to say that it's selfish for someone else to make a decision about their own life. Like, obviously, it impacts some people, but only for so long. It's basically somebody dies. I'm just saying in general, like when somebody dies, you get sad for a little bit, and then you carry on with your life. Same thing happens when someone kills themselves. You go, ah, I'm so sad they did that. Then you move on with your life. Now, is it okay to kill yourself? Not necessarily. Obviously, you should get help, but that help isn't available to everyone, and there's not always great help accessible in this world if you get any help. I remember last time I was in therapy. So, just for some context, if you don't know who I am, I'm in recovery for an eating disorder, and I've struggled with self harm for 6 years. And my therapist told me that I didn't have a real issue and that people basically brainwashed me to think that I had a problem. When I was BMI 13s, I was severely underweight and I was trying to recover, but I couldn't. I couldn't stay consistent. I couldn't figure out how to help myself. I was being told that my issues weren't real. Now, to think based off that, how there's tons of therapists out here, tons of help accessible, that is exactly like that. Of course, people are going to kill themselves because that's not helpful. It's not nice, it's not helpful, it's not beneficial. That's not what are you going to do? That you don't have a problem, so you're fine. My therapist told me that I helped her and I don't even think she helped me. You know? It's just like there's so many things that I think comes down to that final decision that a lot of people don't consider because you're being selfish by saying that they're being selfish. You're putting yourself first before putting that person's pain first. And I think that needs to be realized because you're thinking more about yourself and how it impacted you than what that person was going through in order to make that final decision. And I think that's fucked, honestly. I do. And if that's you, I'm calling you out. I think the problem is that people try to treat it like it's a moral failure. It's not a moral failure, it's a time of pain and struggle. And it should be treated that way, not like this person ruined everything, it ruined 5 bajillion lives, and great. If the Twin Towers were here, their death would have caused that. Am I allowed to say that or is that wrong? I'm sorry if that was wrong. I don't know what I'm saying. I just think that it's okay to struggle. Maybe it's not justified to kill yourself. No. It's not like okay to. I don't think you should do that, but it's always been difficult because you see, as someone who has been very destructive towards themselves, I have always been very strong on the idea that it's your body, therefore you have the right to do with whatever you want with it. You can destroy it, you can fix it, you can leave it as it is, you can pierce it up, tattoo it, do whatever you want with that. That's yours. But it's like does that mean that you should have the right to end it? I guess by existing, you have that right, yes. However, I just don't kill yourself. You have so much to live for. You can. There's so much more in this universe. Have you looked at that? It's not selfish, but just wait. It's not selfish, but you need time. We all need time to think about things, address things, not address things. Just stay in your own thoughts, get them in order. Obviously, just like suicide isn't like a great idea. Don't kill yourself, but it's not selfish. I just don't think that we should be throwing around a bunch of bullshit. I'm not trying to say that I think we should all die. I just think that we shouldn't be mean when someone does. I just don't think we should be spreading around all these cool little words saying that they were selfish when all they did was struggle, because it's not selfish to struggle. It's not selfish to feel pain. It's not selfish to want to take that pain away from yourself, because that is that person and that is not you. You are separate from that person, But I get the idea of thinking that it's selfish, because what people forget is that our lives, I've said this before, it's you featuring everyone else. Our lives revolve around ourselves, but other people's lives don't revolve around you. So when someone feels pain and they think, I don't want to feel that pain anymore, they're going to go get rid of that pain. Uh huh. Because they weren't thinking about you, because it's their pain, not yours. If you were in pain, I don't think they would kill you. I know sometimes that's a thing, a mercy killing, but if you are like in emotional distress, I don't think somebody else is going to decide to kill you. But it's different when it's ourselves. And we all know that. We all realize that. Everything's always different when it's ourselves, because we all think of ourselves differently than other people, because we are ourselves and we aren't other people. But people get so caught up in their own point of view that they just lost someone, that they don't even consider what that person was going through and the steps they took to make that final decision, and those like thoughts and everything behind it. You just think, oh, they're selfish because they killed themselves, and now I get to live without them and I get to be sad for a bit. Because yeah, that sucks that you'll be sad for a bit, but that person had enough pain to die, and you aren't even fully addressing that. You're just addressing how you feel because they died. And that is what selfishness is, because you're the selfish one. When somebody realizes all they feel is the need to leave and escape whatever it is they're dealing with, that's just what it's going to come down to. And either you can be that person that tries to help them, or don't even blame them when it happens. Because if you were there and you saw it and you didn't do shit, then shut the fuck up, honestly. Because you weren't helping when you could have. And that is your fault. So you don't have any right to go around and say, oh, that was so selfish. They shouldn't have done that. It was selfish of you to not help. It really was. Like, step the fuck up. Be a friend, be a partner, be whatever it is to that person. Because you're not being anything, especially not after, when you're just spreading around a bunch of bullshit, I would say making them feel bad, but they're already dead, so I guess they can't feel bad. But if they were alive, like, you get it, like, if their spirit was roaming around and they heard you spewing that bullshit, they'd be like, man, why are you saying that about me? That is so mean. They know what they went through. You don't understand a single thing that they went through. And you could say that you do, but clearly you don't, if that's the conclusion you came to, that they're selfish. That's something that's wrong with you. You're being selfish. Hello, how many times do I have to preface that? But it's kind of insane to me. The same way how it's like I've known people that have expressed their opinion saying that it's selfish, but they would go on about their past with mental health as well and say that they've been there. Like, oh yeah, I've been suicidal, but suicide's selfish. But it's like, if you've been there, then why don't you understand that thought process? Like, as soon as you're out of it, you're just one of those people that are adding such a negative, like, stigmatization to mental health, to say that it's selfish and all these awful things, when somebody just wanted to escape something that they were going through. They weren't trying to impact anyone's lives negatively. They didn't even think they would. That's how little they were thinking about themselves. And for you to think that's selfish, that's fucked. But obviously, if you're having those thoughts, you should try to do something to get out of it, you know? I when I was going through that like period of time, what I figured out to just get me to think otherwise, honestly, was forcing myself to socialize even with people I didn't want to socialize with. Because if you just pretend to have a normal conversation with whatever the fuck is happening in your little head of yours, eventually I think you can kind of separate yourself from that. I don't know. It's different for everyone. That's just what happened with me. I just pretended I had a normal life. I'm alive, so I guess it worked, you know? It's kind of funny how that works. I mean, there's it's different for everyone. There's different reasons for everyone and why they choose to do such thing, but I just don't think it's fair to spread around all these like nasty words. Like somebody just killed themselves and all you have to say is that's selfish. Not even like, I don't know. I really like that person. You know, it's just like, oh, that was selfish. They shouldn't have fucking done that. Oh my god, kill yourself next. I don't even think. Sorry, that was mean. I'm so mean. I'm really awful. I'm not. I'm not. That was a lie. I didn't mean to say that. Please don't think I'm awful. I'm a great individual. I'm a great person. I'm very lovely. I promise you. I promise you. But I guys, I don't even know if I'm being coherent. I'm like kind of sleep deprived. I sleep for like 3 hours a night. I have so many thoughts to share, so many opinions and feelings that I like to spread to the universe. And I don't have any friends, but you know, I have a YouTube channel, so that's the same thing. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. Let me know if I'm even making any sense.